So our first example of incremental analysis is an accept or reject order decision. So in this order decision, again, we go back to our CVP concepts, making sure that we keep in mind that we're looking at the incremental revenues and costs across alternatives. Now, across these alternatives, we're going to look at some cups that cost us $20 per unit to make. What's relevant is the $15 of variable cost. The $5 of fixed cost is just expressing that that is per unit, but keep in mind, fixed costs don't change. And so that cost is not going to change in total if we sell more cups. It's just broken out per unit. What is going to change in total is the $15 of variable cost. We only incur that if we sell the cup. Now, these cups are cups and mugs. They normally sell for $35 each. We are going to look at that, but we're only going to keep it in mind as we think about the qualitative decision making. Now, for some of you, that might be a little bit confusing, but we're going to talk about why. The foreign wholesaler is offering to buy 10,000 units at $25 each. So we're not going to generate revenue for $35, or excuse me, $35. We're going to generate revenue for $25. And so when we accept the order, we want to only consider the revenue that we will earn. So $25 times 10,000 units is going to be $250,000 of revenue. Okay. Now, in rejecting the order, we are giving up $10 per unit. However, the key to the accept or the reject order is if we reject this special order from the foreign wholesaler, we don't generate any revenue or have any cost. So the reject is always zero. Okay, always zero. Now, some might say, well, is that an opportunity cost of giving up the $35 for $25? Not in this scenario, okay? The key is that this order must be coming to us for a certain reason, okay? And maybe that reason is that the company approached us. So we need to isolate what is relevant to this decision. What's relevant is the $25. Now, in terms of cost, we've got a little bit of additional information here. Special orders result in additional shipping costs of $1 per unit. Maybe it has to do with the fact that it's a foreign wholesaler. Maybe it's something different, but we know now that our variable cost per unit are going to be 15 plus the $1. So what that means is if we do accept this order, we're going to have $16 of variable cost per unit times our 10,000 units, and that's $160. Now, with that being said, if we accept this order, revenue minus the costs are $90,000. And so in looking at that quantitatively, we would absolutely accept that order. Now, again, let's look at this column over here. When we compare a $0 revenue to a $250,000 revenue, that's going to increase our revenue by $250. Increase in costs are going to, in fact, decrease our net income by $250. And then when you subtract revenue minus costs, we see the same $90,000 increase in net income. So just remember how the columns move across. You're going to see that a lot in the practice and the homework. So let's read what's down here real quick, just to make sure we feel really good about this whole incremental idea. Now, we can only accept the special order if we think it's going to generate us revenue if we have excess operating capacity. So what does that mean? Well, that means that in terms of operating capacity, does it make sense for us to accept the order? If we are at 100%, we would not even consider the special order. Here's where the $35 comes in. Why? Well, because we could generate $10 extra of revenue by avoiding the additional shipping costs in our decision. If we already are using all of our equipment and machinery at 100% of capacity, there's no reason to consider this order. We would only consider the order if our operating capacity is below 100%. And we're only going to consider that if net income is generated. So this is a great kind of starting point to really think about cost volume profit and the effect on our decision making, our incremental analysis in business.